Welcome to Fear and Greed Summer Investing Series, brought to you by Vanta, specialists in compliance-led growth. I'm Sean Aylmer. Australia is home to a very strong healthcare sector. I wanted to take a closer look at the companies in this space and see how investors should think about them. As always, this is general information only, and you should seek independent advice before making investment decisions. Steve Wheen is the Managing Director, Equity Research at Jarden, Australia, heading up their healthcare team. Steve, welcome to Fear and Greed.
Thanks, Sean.
Up front, why does Australia have such a voluminous healthcare sector? Why are we so big in healthcare?
We're quite an eclectic healthcare space. When you think about the areas of specialty, we've got a company like CSL, which derives its majority of its drugs from blood plasma. There's not a company like that in the ASX other than CSL. And then we have like Cochlear, which is leading. I mean, it would have 75% market share globally in cochlear implants. Then we've got ResMed, who are the number one sleep apnea provider. So they are very different areas, and it's just a vagary of some very innovative people. CSL came out of the government, but the other two were some pretty impressive individuals that forged that technology early on.
Now, the last 12 months has been a good 12 months for the healthcare sector. Now, CSL perhaps is a little bit outside that. What is happening at CSL? It's our third biggest company, perhaps a company in the top 10 that most of us know least about, almost. What's the diagnosis for CSL for the next 12 months or so?
Yeah, so CSL was hit hard during COVID, and the main reason being it derives, as I mentioned, majority of its drugs from human plasma. The problem they've had is that during COVID, nobody was donating plasma. And this is their life, the most important raw material for manufacturing their pharmaceuticals. So then coming out of that, it was trying to bring people back to the donation clinics to actually provide it. And then it's roughly about a 9 to 12 month manufacturing cycle. So the blood we collect, or the plasma we collect today, will not appear as a product that's available for sale for another 12 months. So as we start ramping up the collection and then the manufacturing, it's been a very slow re-entry back into the market, and everyone's been waiting for their earnings to sort of replicate what they were like pre-COVID, and we're not quite there yet. There's something like an 850 basis point improvement in margins required to get back to where we were, and it's coming, but it's just taking a long time.
Cochlear, you mentioned that, 75% market share in that area. I mean, that's been an incredible success story. Can it keep going?
I believe it can. Its latest focus is on the adult community and adult and elderly. And that is a hard sell initially, to try and get someone who's elderly with a degenerative hearing condition to actually commit to what would be a fairly life-changing, very invasive piece of surgery. So that is a difficult process to actually convince them to go down this path. But ultimately, they either opt out of life and sit in the corner and don't listen to much, or they can be part of it. And increasingly, we're seeing the adults/elderly adopt this surgical procedure sooner. And as a result, that is where the growth is coming from. But Cochlear has been very innovative in this process. They're doing a lot of R&D around various iterations of this product, including the electrode that goes into the inner ear. They've been able to fine-tune that so that they can connect to more nerve endings. There's a whole range of things that they've been able to innovate with regards to the processor, being able to link it and via Bluetooth to streaming devices to pick up telephones. So they've been very much at the forefront of this technology, and that's why their market share is so strong and continues to increase.
Steve, finally, I just want to talk about a company that perhaps many people don't know about. We all have heard of some of the names we've been talking about, Integral Diagnostics. I know you cover that one as well. Tell me about that group.
So this is a diagnostic imaging company that's just completed a merger with Capital Health, which is another imaging provider within the Australian context. The aggregation of these two businesses is a very complementary fit, and what it's one of our key stocks that we prefer within the Australian healthcare space. But one of the things we like about it is the government is deregulating MRI licenses. And essentially, you're seeing partially funded from Medicare MRI machines will be upgraded to being fully funded. Ultimately, the government's trying to address the lack of accessibility to MRIs, very long waiting lists to actually get an MRI. I'm sure people listening to this have experienced that. And so this will encourage people to go through this very important diagnostic process. It's very accurate. It's far better than an X-ray, and it could even sort of ultimately surpass the use of X-rays. And as a result, we see some very attractive upside to the earnings potential of this newly created group.
Steve, thanks for your time today.
No problems at all, Sean.
That was Steve Wheen, Managing Director, Equity Research at Jarden. Remember to get your own independent advice before making investment decisions. This is Fear and Greed Summer Investing Series brought to you by Vanta. Vanta automates compliance for frameworks like ISO 27001, SOC 2, CPS 234 and Essential 8, saving time and money while building trust. Join over 8,000 companies like Atlassian, Dovetail, FireAnt and TacTeat.io, managing real-time risk. Get $1,000 at vanta.com/fearandgreed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.